That is spicy. Yeah, I think front runners basically right now are Ajara and Ragnaros, again, because they're obvious. They kill you, and we can see how powerfully they can achieve that. It's pretty spooky. Welcome to episode 534 of Concede, a Hearthstone podcast dedicated to making the competitive side of the game more accessible to you. It is Thursday, February 19th, 2026 in the evening. Coming to you from Nomergon, Ohio, it's me, Edelweiss. From North End, Massachusetts, we have Wicked Good.
Hi.
And unfortunately, Megasa is not joining us from Teldrassil today. She is out sick, which happens. We wish her well. Hope she feels better soon. She did leave some comments that we will be inserting later on regarding, I think, her thoughts on certain cards.
But we want her to be well for the priest card, so we'll give her this week off.
Yeah.
When we're talking some of the lesser classes.
Indeed. So, and from all around the world, we have you, dear listeners. This week's episode is brought to you by our producers, Number Theory, Crash, Beef Squatch, David P., Jeremy T., Bottlecaps, Grumpy Monk, The Burger Club, Kirk Regan, May, NY Kiwi, Spine, and by our patrons of the week, Fog Fanatic and World 8. You can go to patreon.com/CoinConcede to get perks like a thank you at the top of the show, bonus post-show content, early access to new episodes, and help support the show in the process. If you would like to support the show but cannot do so monetarily, please consider leaving us a 5-star review on your podcast feed of choice, as it always helps other people find the show. So, Life and Ladder. I have not been playing a ton of Hearthstone, some arena here and there, doing some dailies, but nothing really memorable. I have been playing, I was playing Diablo 2 Resurrected, and I did a little bit more of that when I visited my grandma with Leah.
Yeah, I picked that up too this week, though I had some misadventures with Switch virtual game cards because apparently everything was loaded on my daughter's Switch, the one who's in college, and she came home from college this week and left her Switch in the dorm.
Oh.
And luckily we happened to be out there because the restaurant we were celebrating my parents' 55th wedding anniversary was like near there, so we're like, yeah, you're going into your dorm and you're going to get your Switch and you're not leaving it in the dorm again because A, you shouldn't be leaving valuables there, and B, Nintendo is dumb.
Well, the Warlock is cool. Yeah. I did forget that there's kind of the thing of like you just barely get to level 30 in like completing all 5 acts. So I'm doing just like a fire build because it's quick and easy to get through normal mode, and then I can try something new and interesting for Nightmare after respecking.
Yeah, the leveling build I found was just, okay, you're leveling up, put a point in your Ring of Fire. Oh, did you level up again? Put a point in your Ring of Fire, and do that again, and do that again. Yeah.
Yep. I think we found the same thing. It's just fire all the way down, and then hellfire when you get to Abyss, which lowers enemy fire resistance.
You put your points into vitality, and except for a couple levels where you do strength and back to vitality, and okay, cool, I can handle that.
I had gotten a certain amount through before, consulting a guide, so I kind of had my points a bit more distributed, but it's fine.
Yeah, Maureen was doing it too, and she's like, oh, how's your demon friend? I said, what demon friend? I have fire. Fire is my demon friend. That's it. I don't have a demon friend.
I did pick up like an item early on that gave me some points to let me summon a goat man, and that was actually quite good for quite a while to have sort of a frontliner in that way. And then eventually I just borrowed from Sorceress my Leaf rune word. Even though you don't get any of the Sorceress stuff, it's +3 to all fire skills, which is good.
That seems good. Yeah.
And I love that you can use 2-handed weapons one-handed because you're just doing it with like telekinesis anyway.
Yeah, you're just it's floating in the air. Who cares how many hands? You don't need any hands.
Yeah, so that's great.
You should be able to equip as many weapons as you want because you're just floating them there.
I got a Nagel ring, which is very high magic fine, so that's been nice. Kind of trying to, I forgot how magical it is in Diablo 2, like collecting the set items, and then it almost makes you want to make new characters so that you can do their early game like with low level sets.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still only in the beginning of Act 2 because Maureen and I are both playing on separate Switches that are tied to the same account, so we can't play at the same time.
That's tough. Yeah. But anyway, so there's that. And then I really quite foolishly started Expedition 33 before, like, the night before I was going to visit my grandma with Leah. And
that seems like a tactical error. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I was just like, no. Oh, this game is so good. And I have to now say goodbye for like 3 days.
Oh, did you get it on the PlayStation, not on the Steam Deck?
I did.
Oh, yeah,
it was on sale on the PlayStation. Because I kind of knew I was going to want to play it on a big screen.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And then I was just deeply regretting that decision. And so I played some of the music while I was gone because the music is phenomenal. And yeah, it is, to me, the like perfect marrying of JRPG plus Dark Souls. Yeah. Because I enjoy parrying and learning parrying timing. And like a JRPG, if you wander somewhere you're not supposed to be yet, you just get rolled because your numbers aren't big enough. But in this, yes, there's some areas where you're just so outnumbered number-wise, not in terms of enemies, but that like they're taking too many turns compared to yours and they one-shot you. But there are some places that you can go that are like clearly outscaling you, outclassing you, but not enough to one-shot. And so I'm able to go into some of those places and be like, I'm just going to learn the parry timing. We're going to do it. We're going to figure it out. Because as long as you parry and dodge successfully, you don't take damage. And that's a lovely element for me to get in my JRPG. Whereas FF7 remake stuff, I also enjoyed. It sort of works the inverse way, where rather than like turn-based with real-time dodge and parry, it is real-time with, pause when you want to do your abilities. But I never felt like I could really parry or dodge very well, or that it was very rewarding in FF7 remake or rebirth.
Yeah. Tales of Arise did that a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that reminds me, I started Rebirth and I didn't get very far in it, and I do need to pick that back up again.
It's quite enjoyable.
Yeah.
I spent too much time on mini games, but
no, that happens. Yeah.
that segment, that disc of the original FF7. The original had a lot of mini games, and this one just took that and ran with it. But anyway, yeah. What have you been up to? More Hearthstone than me, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I mean, for the 3 people who care about how I'm progressing through the Trails games, I got to the end game of Trails of Cold Steel 3, and holy crap. And I am probably going to have to play that more tonight and find out how that ends, because I left it at quite a point, and everything happened all at the same time, and I am very interested in where this is going. So I've also heard that this game ends on a cliffhanger, which is pretty...
That's so rude.
Basically, every other game in this series either ends on a cliffhanger or like finishes up a 2-game story, and this is like the first game in a 2-game pair. So I'm expecting it to end on a vicious cliffhanger. I've already installed 4 on my Steam Deck, so I could just go right into that if I need to. I did get to Legend this week. I was not 100% sure how that was going to happen given my misadventures earlier in the week. But I played around with a bunch of different variations of Arkwing Mage. We had said last week that most of the buffs didn't matter, and 2 of them did. One of them was Whizbang.
Yes.
Which made me very unhappy. I have ended sessions more than once because I had one session where I queued into 2 Whizbang Lackey Warriors back to back and just left the client. I'm done. I'm not, because that deck is stupid. And like, it is, because it just spams lackeys, and then it plays the one, I'm not going to remember names because I have suppressed all of the Galakron memories, but there's the one that every time you play a lackey, you get a lackey.
Right, which now that they cost 0, yeah.
Yeah, they cost 0, so they just fill up the board. And then the other one that makes them all 4/4s. Mm-hmm. And they get those every time. And
I didn't, because I played some Whizbang
yeah,
for a while just to, you know, see how it is. And I got the Lackey one a bunch, kind of more than I would have liked. And which is sort of my biggest problem with playing that is I cannot pick which to use, which makes sense because people would figure out which was the best one and then always pick
it
that.
is a lot of decisions that you have to make because you have basically infinite mana.
Yeah. So
I mean, because they all cost 0. So
I did not do as well with that because I didn't always get the thing that makes them into 4/4s, and I faced a bunch of control warriors, which have receded, it feels like, which is nice. But yeah, there's some that are quite good and fun, and others that I'm just like, I do not want to play random nonsense constantly, actually.
yeah.
In terms of, with the lackeys, you're discovering stuff, but with like the mage one, it's just my hand changes every turn.
Yeah, or there's the Druid one it gives you the mage quest on top of it, and everything just discovers and
thank you.
Yeah. So I ran into a lot of those. I also ran into just a bunch of straight up quest mages along the way too, which was annoying. Thankfully, this deck does kind of obliterate them. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but so Arkwing Pilot is the other card that got buffed from 7 mana to 6 mana, and that is pretty good. So the idea is Arkwing Pilot's a now 6 mana 4/3 with at the end of your turn deal 3 damage to a random enemy and spell burst summon a copy. So the idea is that you want to generally play Ingenious Artificer, which is a 4 mana 4/5, I believe, that says the next Draenei you play refreshes mana crystals equal to its power.
Yeah, it used to be a 5 mana 4/6.
Yeah, so it just sped that up by a turn, and then it makes it much easier to do that. And you have Trouble Mechanic, which is a 2 mana 2/1 Divine Shield with Spellburst draw Draenei. So there are some other hits in here like Exarch Hadaru, which is the 5 mana 5/5, which says Battle Cry, discover a spell and reduce its cost by 1. If you play it this turn, repeat this effect. And you're also playing Rayla or Skyla, which I think are both. I think Skyla's a Draenei also, but Rayla definitely is. Rayla is a 4 mana 2/6. After you cast a spell, summon a random 2-cost minion and give it Divine Shield. You have to play that in order to get access to Divine Brew. I think that's the only Paladin, or
the only thing you care about.
The only thing you care about from Paladin. In the Rogue one, you're running the weapon, you're running Metal Detector to get coins. You're also running Skyla, so you run Tsunami so that you can flip it the same way that you would with Big Spell Mage, which is occasionally relevant, and sometimes that damage from the Tsunami helps, but also you just find burn a lot of the time. With like Alter Time, you're running in the Rayla version. You're also running Violet Spellwing in both and Vicious Slither Spear. So you're trying to get a 1-drop down, get some chip damage in, spam some spells. You're running Stellar Balance, which gives you a 0 mana moon. Oh, why am I blanking on the Moonfire? Thank you. Alter Time discounts the spells by 2, so you can sometimes get that for free. You're running Primordial Glyph, which can discount down to free. Sometimes Alter Time will give you the spell that discounts all spells that didn't start in your deck by 1, and that helps a lot. And you also have Marooned Archmage, which discounts the first spell that you cast by 2. Good luck getting that to stick on the Arkwing Pilot turn, because that thing is marked for death as soon as it hits the board. Though the Divine Brews do help, but generally what you're trying to do is play Ingenious Artificer usually on 5, because you don't want to coin out the Arkwing Pilot on 6. You generally want to have the coin available if you have it. And then you go into Arkwing Pilot, refresh for 4 mana crystals, and then you start spamming Divine Brews or Seabreeze Chalices or Moonfires or free spells, and just get a board of these guys and hit your opponent in the face. And it often won't kill them, but they then have to clear.
Yeah.
And it's not, I mean, yeah, there's corpse explosions and stuff, but they can't always clear. And even if they can clear, you can usually discover some burn. You still have the Starfire from the Stellar Balance that gives you 6 more damage. Sometimes you just get them down there. And sometimes you can just discover burn with the rest of the spells that are in your deck. you'll just find more burn. And also sometimes you just get a Rayla down and just get a whole bunch of guys and put Divine Brews on the 2-drops that you're summoning to give them Divine Shield, and then just make them a little bit stickier. Or I mean, you're putting that on Rayla really, because the 2-drops that come in get Divine Shield, but you can just keep making sticky things. And sometimes I had one board that had 2 of the totems that give you a shadow spell every turn, and those just stuck for a while.
Uh-huh.
And there are not a lot of shadow spells that give you burn, by the way. There's a lot of board clears that clear your own minions along the way.
Uh-huh.
There's like the Demon Hunter one that does 4 damage to all minions, and then excess hits your hero. You don't want to play that a lot of the time. But generally you can just kind of get there with burn, and you have some... I had a really silly game today, and it was on my phone, where I'd just ended up getting... Oh, that was the game where I had the shadow spells, and one of them was like the Death Knight spell that discovers an undead, and if you spend 5 corpses, you get all 3 of them. And it gave me a Cena.
Oh, that seems good.
And so I just, they did whatever. I'm like, okay, none of this matters. I'm just like, just don't put more than 20 health on board. Like they were at like 8. So just like, don't play too many things. Just do that. And then just played a Cena and got there and felt very proud of myself. So
yeah,
it's a fun deck. It can get there. And there are some matchups that are harder than others. Like Death Knight can be kind of hard because there's just like a lot of bodies on board because it hits random enemies, but it's generally pretty good. And I'm sitting at like a 76% win rate with the deck right now, even post getting to Legend. So it's effective.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty remarkable how just a turn difference is so important, right?
Yeah.
That a turn and some mana, right? Like,
yeah.
And I think the flexibility to be able to play the refreshing Draenei on 4 or 5, depending, right? Because it just holds until you play your next Draenei, right? So as long as you don't play a Draenei on 5, you get to keep that refresh for turn 6. Whereas previously it was like, well, you can play it on 5, and then your Arkwing isn't until 7.
And then you die. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It just wasn't happening. And like, I'm still baffled that Rayla, like, this is the first real deck that she's been a thing in, right? And that one's so weird to me, right? Because the meta has been so depowered, and I feel like that effect should have been just so strong, and yet I guess it just hasn't had the support cards.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Maybe it's that, like, even though board kind of matters, just making a bunch of 2-drops with Divine Shield isn't enough of a board. I don't know. Or like there actually, you know what it probably is. There just weren't enough good mage cards around something like Rayla, right? Mage has just not had a great year.
Yeah, I mean, Alter Time helps a lot, and that was in the new set, right?
Yeah,
those cards are generally very good. The other thing that's also, I should have mentioned, that's also really good is Smoldering Growth, because sometimes what you can do is you really want that in your opening hand, because then it's already, by the time you can cast it, it's drawing you minimum 2. Sometimes you wait till 3 and you just play it like on 3 with a 1-drop and then draw 3 cards, and that's just very good. It's like there's not a lot that's really super new. I mean, there's Alter Time and Storage Scuffle. I forget when that was printed, because that's the other one. But that was in the that was in Ungoro, right? Because that was going along with the quest.
Yeah, discover stuff, exactly.
That is, I guess, relatively new. But yeah, it's kind of, it takes a little bit of learning the lines, because it's very easy to say play an Ingenious Artificer and then accidentally like play a Trouble Mechanic and then waste your refresh. So you do need to, it took a few games for me to understand like the play pattern and get the lines down, because like at first I'm like, this deck sucks, and then I went to play anything else and I'm like, well, let me try this again because everything else is terrible too. So other than Whizbang, I guess, because I saw people even like Diamond 1. I mean, I guess those are low rank Legend players at that point, because my next to final game was against the Astral Automaton Priest, and I rolled my
Yeah.
eyes back so far in my head when I saw
that one is like, did you Yahtzee? No. Okay.
Yeah. They didn't have the one drop coin, because Astral Automaton is the 1/2 that gets +1/+1 for each other Astral Automaton you've played this game. And they didn't have the automaton coin automaton into automaton opener, but they did have Pip on 3 when they copied 3 of them.
Sure.
I honestly could not, because I think I blacked out in the middle of that game. I could not tell you how I won, but I was determined, because I was just like, I'm not losing another half hour to this BS Whizbang deck. And I found a way to keep them off the board. But it was a struggle, and it required a lot of just like lucky discovers and stuff to get there.
Well, let's not give Whizbang any more time, and let's jump into the news, because we do have lots of cool new cards to talk about.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's do that.
Gadgets and Gazette always gets the scoop.
Okay, so the news is not as big this week as it was last week. I don't think it possibly could be. We do have a couple of things, and then we're going to spend most of the time talking about the new cards that have been revealed, including one that I believe was literally just revealed as we were recording that I have not seen yet, because I have not been looking at, like, through the creator program, we do get a little bit of advance notice. Because of the way that they've been doing the reveals this set, I haven't been looking ahead, so I'm completely going in cold. So and it's a rogue card, so that ought to be entertaining for everybody. But we do have 34.6.1, which is a hot fix patch, did get released earlier this week on February 17th. Farseer Woe, which is the shaman card that is 4 mana 2/6 elusive. After you cast a spell, discover a nature spell from the past. That is now correctly generating spells even after a double rewind. So apparently I guess that would be a Clocksworth that would have done that. That would have turned that off.
Or Morchi? I don't know.
Maybe Morchi. Yeah. So I mean, these are going to be edge cases at this point that we're going to be finding. But yeah, so if you were, I mean, and Farseer was not exactly in any meta decks right now anyway. So
I guess it's a legendary, so it could get summoned from Cogsworth.
Yeah, or Marin.
So, yeah.
Husk Eternal Reaper's Death Rattle no longer triggers for both players when a hero dies to a card effect. That's a sentence.
It sure is.
So I mean, it should still trigger for Husk, for the Husk player, I would expect, but it shouldn't be triggering for their opponent also. So that is something that is no longer happen. Apparently, they missed a couple of treasures to put into Splendiferous Whizbang's Rogue deck. We thought we were done giving Whizbang time, but we're not. So they've added those in. They said no pirates were harmed in the process, but they looked pretty upset. I was upset when they buffed it, so that's only fair. And ladder ready decks now properly become available for eligible players after the intended 90-day cooldown. So if you were trying to get into a ladder ready deck and you couldn't, try again. It should be there for you. So there's also some things around Battlegrounds and Arena. You can go read the patch notes. We'll have them linked in the show notes, that if you're interested in those things. One of the things, if you were not aware, we don't typically cover shop things anymore, but this one is free stuff in the shops. There are some free Lunar New Year Battlegrounds emotes in the shop, so you do want to make sure to just go. You have to go into the shop and actually click on it into the Battlegrounds area and go click on the free button, and it'll give it to you. It doesn't just grant them to you automatically, but they're there, so you may as well go get them while you have them, and then you'll have this. I don't know who this is, but the Dragon Prince. Okay. The Dragon Prince emotes for Lunar New Year. So that is fun. And the other, also in news that we don't typically cover, but this is going to be an exception. We don't normally talk about the Dark Moon Fair, but they are now at least posting the odds in the Dark Moon Fair in the game instead of sending you to a website. So if you are considering going to spend money for another pull, you can click on the odds and it will update based on what you have already pulled.
Yeah.
So in this case, what we're showing on stream for those of you watching live, there's a Hogger cosmetic and there's a mythic variant skin. Someone has pulled the golden standard pack already, and they've updated the odds for both of those premier pulls to 0.1429%.
Yeah. I mean, this was something that we talked about when they were first announced, that like, hey, you know, while it's nice, maybe perhaps required by law for you to show the odds in this thing that you can find elsewhere, you really ought to show them in client, because it is quite predatory not to, right?
Yeah.
Because people may think, oh, I mean, I know it's low, probably like 5%. It's like, no. It is, it is weighted so low, right? Less than 1%. And so, you know, you get to see, okay, I'm really just mostly likely to get these first 3 options. And then it just goes way down from there. So, you know, some people I think are still going to just buy it as a bundle, right? Just whale out and get the whole thing. And some people will still be willing to push their luck. But I think, you know, net positive, if there's anyone who, net positive for not being a dick, right? For anyone who gets to see these and sort of take a step back and be like, oh, I didn't realize my chances were that bad, you know, prevent some rage.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I think transparency is good. I think if you're, you know, I'm not your dad. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money, but I think it is wise if you're not planning on spending the whole amount up front, then just go click on this and just take a look at the odds. And then if nothing else, just to kind of slow yourself down before you automatically click pull and think about it for a second, even just to, you know, disrupt your brain from just getting that next dopamine rush. And then if you're okay with that, or you're okay with the odds of what you're going to get, then, you know, hey, you do you. And if you're cool with spending $160 or whatever, I don't know if this one is more or less expensive. I haven't been paying attention, honestly. But if you're cool with spending $160 and you're just going to do that because you want everything, you know, if that's worth it to you, you know, vaya con Dios. You know, I'm
not going to tell you what to do. I will say I wish we could get some legislation akin to the stuff in the EU that's like, this is gambling, this product is illegal, right? Like, just let people buy the thing. Don't do loot boxes. Yeah.
And I mean, packs are even loot boxes to some extent, but this is like the extreme of it. And I mean, I've been known to buy more than one collector pack of Magic to get shiny cardboard. Like, I'm not immune to this either, but it's like, it's better when you know how much you're going to be spending up front and what your odds are to get things. And, you know, and then you can make an informed decision. And that's really all that we're asking for. I mean, it would be better if they were more transparent about the pricing up front, but this is a step in the right direction, and good on them for doing it. Okay, so that's news, and we've got a whole bunch of cards to talk about, so we should do that. Well, I guess Megasa usually does this. Neither of us figured
That's
out
true.
We're do
we're sitting here just like, wait,
they're
what?
just staring at each other.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a number of cards that were revealed. So I think it's worth mentioning that the way that they're doing reveals, I think we talked about this last week, but it's going to be a little bit more relevant as we start to talk through this, because we've been used to, over the last couple of years, getting the entire class at once so that we had full context of what was going to be coming when we were discussing these cards. That is not the case for this set. They are holding some cards back, either for additional creator reveal videos or for the final reveal stream with Kibler. And so we have about half of these classes that we're going to be talking about in a handful of standalone legendaries that will presumably have some support in the cards that were going to come. but we don't have full context. And again, I know this isn't necessarily the case for you, Edel, but I have not really looked ahead because I don't want to be bothered with trying to remember what has been revealed and what hasn't when we're talking about this. So I at least am going to be going in with the knowledge that you all have as far as what was been revealed up to now. So there may be some things that we have to revisit as we see the rest of the set. We only have the context of these
and
cards
my memory
that we
is a
have
sieve,
right now.
so
Yeah.
You know, I will like see some things and be like, oh, okay, cool. I'm optimistic. I will maintain the vibes and general feel and then forget the details. So, but at any rate, I think, you know, before we dive in, I think it's been cool doing these reveal streams.
Yeah.
I like that, but we kind of, all three of us hosts, even Megasa, who's not here, agree that we really miss the class by class aspect that we had before.
Yeah.
And so I think kind of the perfect balance would be like, okay, do these reveals, but still limit it to like, we're going to do this full class and then this full class. And then because that way we can discuss things with the full context, right? And not feel like we have to at the end then go, okay, well now how's every class look?
Yeah. And then, you know, you hold back four classes for the reveal stream, right? Like maybe not all those classes cards fit in a deck, and maybe that's the idea, right? That you can't necessarily fit the entire, like sometimes you have like aggro cards and control cards in a class and you can't necessarily fit all those into one deck. So maybe that's the idea. But if we can do that, I think that would be kind of the perfect middle ground, because I think the reveal streams have been pretty successful and pretty good at highlighting a bunch of creators who might not otherwise get a lot of exposure, especially with Twitter being a dumpster fire for discoverability now. But it is kind of hard not having full context, but hopefully they're going to smooth this out. This is the first time they're doing it, and you're not going to make a cake without breaking a few eggs. So, you know, and the team has really been open to feedback. So hopefully they'll take that to heart, and then we'll get the best of both worlds for upcoming reveal seasons. Megasa did put in some notes that she wanted to bring up for the colossals before we go, or just in general, before we go into the individual cards. So Herald upgrades apply after you play a card with Herald and summon the soldier. So that means that your soldiers are summoned by the Herald cards, and they aren't upgraded until the third time that you Herald. So that's important, at least for evaluating how good the soldiers and the Herald cards are going to be. Colossal minions cannot be generated in a way that they would be summoned directly onto the battlefield or transformed into. So they can't be evolved into, they can't be summoned from like a Sneasel Shredder or something like that, but they can be randomly added or discovered to your hand or deck by cards that generate minions like Jewel Macaw or Paparazzi, and they can be transformed into in your hand and deck like the Golden Monkey. So like if you had like a Marin, you could get them from the Marin potentially.
Right. Marin will be rotating, but yes. Yeah, I mean the main thing is like you must pay the cost because it is too many minions and too much, probably on the back end, too much weirdness to summon a bunch of appendages from onboard randomness.
Yeah.
But if you find it and then you play it, that works. And if you copy it when it's already in play, that summons the appendages. So
that's always been the case too. So Herald cards are like the StarCraft cards. If you started with them in your deck, you can discover them. If you didn't, then you can't. So bear that in mind. If you play as a Deathwing Align class and somehow generate a Herald card from another class, I can't imagine which class would be doing that. That card will summon your class's soldier. So if a rogue generates Felon Fusion, the card would change to say Herald Sinestra and would give the rogue a soldier of Sinestra, not of the Demon Hunter or the Demon Hunter's soldier.
Foreshadowing. Yeah.
And if you're a Dragonflight Align class and so the priest has the card that lets you discover a card from the opponent's deck. So you could get a Herald card that way. You would summon a soldier of the class that the card came from. if you don't have a herald class of your own. So this is similar to when you would discover secrets as a non-secret bearing class. If you were to discover secrets as, say, a mage, it would only show you mage secrets. If you were to get that as, say, a warlock, it would give you from whatever the class of the card that was generating it would give you. Again, it's unlikely to come up often, but it comes up.
Yeah. And then final note on herald stuff, if you have heralded 4 times and with, say, Ragnaros or something else, but then you somehow generate a Colossus from a different class, it will already be fully upgraded because heralding is a player buff. So that's why it affects Deathwing and these Colossi. So yeah, kind of cool. I hope that doesn't happen a ton, but it is nice that if you do all the work with heralding and then you generate another colossal that cares about being heralded, you get the full juice.
Yeah, I mean, herald and the name of the colossal is kind of flavor text. The heralding is the important part. It's not heralding, even though it says the name of what you're heralding. It's not actually applying just to that.
Yeah.
So okay, so we've done all that. So let's talk about some cards. First off, we're going to talk about these 2 legendaries that were kind of revealed a la carte. So again, we don't have full context yet, because we have not seen what the rest of these classes kits are. But we have gotten, for Mage, we've gotten is it Volcanos or Volcanos? I
would say Volcanos, but I don't think it matters.
Yeah. But it's also like Volcano, so I don't know. But also,
maybe it's just volcanoes.
Once we've gotten Sandcastle, like I'm going with
the
simplest. You
mean Sankazel?
Yeah. So anyway, so Volcano dude is 7 mana 4/8 colossal +2. At the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to all other minions. That includes yours. Right? The appendages are Plumes of Volcanoes, which are 2 mana 1/4, and whenever this takes damage, get a random fire spell, it costs 3 less. So this will get summoned, it will do a 2 damage AoE, and then you will get 2 fire spells added, discounted fire spells that'll get added to your hand that you'll be able to play the following turn. We'll have to see what goes along with that. It seems a 2 damage AoE at 7 mana is not a great rate. Yeah. I mean, you do have like Dios things that you could do, but that's still not gonna get there. But also Mage has other ways to deal damage to opposing minions that this could kind of help along.
This looks like the worst of the colossals we've seen so far to me. It might still be fine, right? Because you get a bunch of stuff, you deal 2 damage to all other minions, right? There's gonna be moments where you could play it and it's fine, perhaps. But I wish that like the plumes, the appendages, kind of worked the same way that the shaman self-damage stuff does, where it's like, when this takes fire damage and Volcanos' thing is considered fire damage or something, then prevent it and you get a random fire spell. Because as it stands, I mean, you're probably not going to get more than the first hit anyway, but even if you do get to that second turn and they're alive, they're then going to get destroyed by its own effect, which is weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, assuming you can't buff them up or whatever, but
it's Mage.
Mage, they're probably not going to, but there are sometimes neutrals that'll give health or whatever. I don't know that you're going that deep in the well to do that. I think it's also going to depend on what the pool of fire spells is post-rotation. Right?
Yeah, the pool of fire spells, and if you have ways of buffing damage or whatever, right? We've seen previously some fire spells that hit twice, whether it was foraging to make it cast twice or, discard another fire spell to deal the damage again. We've seen Shaman and Rogue get some spell damage, and Mage has the dragon, right? That while it's damaged, you get spell damage +2. So like maybe something there.
You've got Scorching Winds, which is the 3 mana spell, deal 3 damage, discard a random fire spell to deal 3 more.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. Is that sticking around?
That is sticking around. That was Emerald Dream. So
that's a big
sticking
deal.
around. Yeah. It looks like I think Fireball's sticking. I think they're not. I mean, Fireball's probably like the last man standing.
Yeah. Flame Strike's gone, but
yeah. As far as like original OG cards, I don't know how many are left that have stayed in core this whole time, but Fireball's like one of them. Flame Geyser, I think, is sticking around, or is it not? I'm not sure.
No, it's being replaced with First Flame, which I consider a better spell, but First Flame cannot go face. So.
Yeah. Smoldering Grove is still there. That's pretty good. Yeah.
You know, maybe some stuff from other classes. Hellfire, I'm sure, is still going to be there.
Eternal Firebolt is pretty good. So, I mean, that's some healing. So, like, we'll have to see what the other fire spells are that we're getting. Like, we got a lot of them into the Emerald Dream because that was like the fire spell mini set.
Mm-hmm.
So we could have some stuff that's going to be decent. Like Sizzling Swarm is that was Lusty of Ungoro. That's the 6 mana spell, deal 3 damage, summon that many 2/1 Sizzling Cinders. Like
yeah,
that's pretty good. Yeah. So yeah,
you know, it might be fine, but I think it has to be in a more aggressively slanting deck.
Yeah. And again, this is where the lack of context pretty much hurts us, because we're just kind of speculating. There's like a whole lot of ifs in the sentence, and like, I'm not saying this is bad, but it's just like, we don't know, because we don't know what else is coming in around this. So
similarly for the next one, the Priest Colossal.
The Black Blood, which is a 7 mana 4/8 Colossal +3. After you restore health to a character, attack a random enemy minion. That is the head that's going to do that. And the body is a 3 mana 1/2. At the end of your turn, restore 3 health to a random damaged friendly character. So as long as you have damaged either yourself or a minion, this is going to go and attack 3 things on the board when you play it, assuming that it lives through all 3 of those hits, which is not bad. It's not Blackwater Behemoth, but few things are.
It sometimes is, though, right? Like, there might be instances where they've just got one thing, right?
Yeah.
And so you heal yourself, and then there's a chance of it healing either itself or you some more. I like that there's potential for, you know, if you've just taken a little bit of damage, or you have something else on board that's taken just a little bit of damage, where it like restores health to that thing, that's now topped off. And so Black Blood will heal itself for sure, relieving some of the damage that it took from killing that first minion. So like, this is sometimes an AoE.
Do we know how the triggers order on that? Is it that it goes heal, trigger Black Blood, heal, trigger Black Blood, heal, trigger Black Blood? It's not heal, attack.
I don't know, but it's the only thing that makes sense to me, because this isn't that great a card otherwise. Yeah.
It would be terrible otherwise, so it must work that way. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, I expect that they will patch it very quickly to make it work that way, because it would just be straight up terrible if it works the other way.
Yeah, because like it never sticks into a board if it is not able to heal itself between attacks. So
and you really just like, your face will have taken some damage by turn 7 probably, right? And that's all that matters, right? Because it's going to heal a friendly damage character, so it can heal your face, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost certainly going to heal your face at least, and then once it's hit something, then it will, assuming that it doesn't hit like a totem or whatever, then it'll probably heal the Black Blood and then keep it going. So,
and sometimes you're going to want it to let itself die and keep healing your face, right? Yeah. So,
I mean, because the tentacles stick around even if they kill the head.
Yes.
So, I've seen a bunch of people ragging on this. I don't like. Again, this is not Blackwater Behemoth. but that's a high bar.
Mhm.
But I mean, this is reasonable to me. It's
Yeah.
still 9 healing. It minimum 3 is going to hit something that you care about getting healed, right? Because at least the first one's going to hit something that was already damaged. And then the other 2 may just keep the black blood around, or it may heal some other things, and either way is fine.
Yeah. It's easier to see something like the Ragnaros one and like how that is insane because it ends the game, right? Whereas this one I think is more of a sort of in the same lane as Blackwater Behemoth, right? In terms of its more utility support, like keeps you alive for a slower controlling deck.
Yeah.
That has something else for the win condition.
Yeah. I mean, Blackwater Behemoth was basically like Ziliax is today. Like, for those of you who don't remember, because it would just come in and it would, as long as there was something to attack, it would attack something and then lifesteal.
Yeah.
And heal you a lot. And it is worse than that. There's a lot of room to be worse than that.
Mm-hmm.
And still be a playable card. So yeah, I think this is fine. We'll see what else Priest is going to get that's going to work with this. It may get better as we see more of that. That's those 2. And then we got 4 classes that we got like half of the cards for. We'll start with Death Knight. So we got the Colossal for Death Knight is Arisen Onyxia, which is a 9-mana 3/6 undead dragon. Colossal +2. When your hero would lose health on your turn, gain that much max health instead. So we're doing kind of a warlocky hit yourself in the face, stop hitting yourself kind of build. The appendages are Onyxia's Wing, which are 1-mana 1/1s, and they obviously upgrade as they get heralded. When summoned, get a random 2-cost minion. It costs health this turn, and herald twice to upgrade. So I believe it's gonna upgrade the stats, and it's also going to make it a more expensive minion. So, which means that if you play it this turn, which you can, right, because it costs health instead of, as long as you have board space, then it's going to cost health instead of mana. So you can play it immediately and then gain 2, 4, or 8 max health immediately for both of those. And then all of the heralds are also going to summon those, but it's not going to have the when your hero would lose health on your turn text from Onyxia. So you're going to be actually paying the life for those if you play them that turn from the heralded soldiers.
I will note, Onyxia is an undead. Death Knight has ways of discovering undead. So you may be able to get multiple Onyxias in a game. There's generally quite a few undead in the Discover pool, but it's going to happen sometimes.
Yeah.
And another thing, I guess it always is just like for that turn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other thing that Death Knight can do is give its minions Reborn.
True. Yeah.
And then when the Reborn one comes in, it summons the wings again. Now, if that happens on your opponent's turn, you're not going to get the benefit of the minions costing health, but you will still get value out of it.
Yeah. So, 9 might end up being a little late. Currently 9 doesn't feel that late, but well, actually into Arkwings maybe it does, but we'll have to see how 9 mana is feeling. But it is quite a powerful effect, and I would love to see more healing because increasing your max health doesn't matter unless you have ways of filling it back up. I guess there's Murazond.
Yeah.
Right.
There's also they put the lifesteal weapon back in core, right?
True,
Which
but if
is
you're hitting
not great,
things,
but it's something. Yeah.
Yeah. But
well, if you hit their face, you just heal. So
I know.
Just go face.
But sure. It's a lot of mana to spend to just be going face with that. But
yeah. The things that we're doing with Onyxia, so we do have a lifesteal minion. We have Obsessive Technician, which is a 4-mana 2/5 double blood with lifesteal and Battlecry Herald Onyxia. Mm-hmm. So that is technically some healing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we're losing all of the hand buff stuff in Death Knight. I think we are, though maybe some of it's left. I don't know if Blood Tap is a core card or if that's rotating.
I think there's a core hand buff thing sticking around, but there won't be a ton. Certainly the biggest one, which only hit undead anyway, is the puppeteer or whatever, right?
Yeah, and that's definitely was banned because that was miniaturized. Yeah. So there's that. We also have experimental animation, which is a 6-mana double blood spell. Herald Onyxia, deal 4 damage to all enemy minions. So that's a reasonable board clear. It's 1 mana less than Flame Strike, but also 1 damage less than Flame Strike. It's something. I guess you get to get a free minion on board with it. It's not free, you're paying health for it. But you know, I mean, being able to develop and clear in the same time is kind of the control dream. It is going to cost you health, which you're probably not going to be in a great position to spend if you are the control deck and you're needing to clear a board that wide. But maybe you are. You know, we'll see. We did lose a lot of the gain max life stuff aside from the leeches. Also,
something I will give this that I think is easy to miss. It says deal 4 damage to all enemy minions.
Yes.
Right? So there may be an expectation that like you are still working on building your board. That kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that Onyxia's Herald gives you more minions to play, right? So you're summoning a 1/1, but then you also get a 2-drop that you can pay 2 life to throw out there. You know, then you get a 2/2 that gives you a 4-drop that you can throw out there. So the fact that you're not hitting your stuff means that you can, you know, make some favorable trades and clear the way, or potentially just clear the way and then push face with your stuff, right? Which is a thing that you wouldn't get to do with your regular board clear.
Yeah. I mean, Corpse Explosion or like Threads of Despair or whatever was clearing everything. This is an asymmetrical board wipe, which is not something that Death Knight typically gets access to. So that is, again, it is Flame Strike, but it's 1 less mana and 1 less damage, but it's got the Herald on it too.
Yeah.
So
original Flame Strike.
Yeah. Original, but well, Flame Strike does 5 now, right?
I know,
so,
but it used to do 4.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's original Flame Strike. Yeah. So we also have Chromatic Broodmother, which is a 4-mana 2/5 undead dragon, 1 frost, 1 unholy with rush. Whenever this attacks, refresh mana crystals equal to this minion's attack. So that implies we're hand buffing, right? Or it buffing. Does. Not necessarily hand buffing, but buffing. But even just 4 mana rush, refresh 2, do something else, even hero power, is probably worth considering.
Yeah. Well, and it goes hand in hand with this other epic right next to it. Gruesome Nightmare, 3-mana 3/3 beast. Battle Cry, give a minion in your hand or battlefield attack equal to this minion's attack. I believe that is a targeted battle cry. So you can choose what to buff. We have the technology now. Hand buffing's or targeted hand stuff is a thing. So you can make sure to put this on Chromatic Broodmother, and then you net gain a crystal actually, right? Because its power would be 5.
Or you put it on Obsessive Technician and you heal 5.
Yeah, potentially. I do appreciate that Gruesome Nightmare is neutral so that you can do that, right? You can either put it on Obsessive Technician if you're Blood, or Chromatic Broodmother if you're Frost Unholy. Another good target would be the 5 Corpses Lifesteal Rush Undead Beast.
Yeah, it would be.
So
this seems like a glue card for Death Knight going forward.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things seem to care about attack, and this just gets it higher, which you kind of want to do.
Hand targeting, just so crucial.
Yeah.
Right? It makes hand buff... Because previously there was kind of this thing where you had to either be all in, where it's buffing everything in your hand, or just kind of hope, right? Or kind of run as many of the things that benefit the most from hand buffing as possible so that you're hitting one of them. And now with something like this, you can be a little more particular where it's like, well, I just have to wait until I have something that I in particular want to hit, and I can choose that thing. So yeah, I think that's why Obsessive Technician as a 4-mana 2/5 lifesteal is, and Herald is kind of more acceptable.
Yeah, and also you don't need to stick a board in order to make it useful, right? You don't have to worry about it hitting the wrong thing in your hand. You don't have to have a board. It still has value, even if you just have a mini in your hand that you haven't been able to play yet. So yeah, I think this is a low key one of the better cards that Death Knight got. It's not gonna be flashy, right? It's not gonna do the fancy thing, but this is the kind of card that you'll see a lot of because it just finds a home in a lot of different decks, especially being neutral.
And if its own attack is buffed, it passes on those benefits. So
right, yeah.
If you gruesome nightmare a gruesome nightmare, that gruesome nightmare is going to give the full 6 onto.
Yeah.
And I think there is that one.
Yeah.
Buff your whole hand card in neutral. So.
Yeah, and we've also got Command Claw, which is a 1 unholy 2-mana weapon, 2 attack, 2 durability. After your hero attacks, give a random friendly minion +2 attack. So this minion has to be on the board. So that's not going to help the Gruesome Nightmare battle cry, but it would help, something like the Lifesteal minion. That would be fine.
I mean, it's a pretty aggressive 2-cost weapon, right?
Yeah.
I think of, I don't recall the name, but glaive thrower, glaive shot. It was
whatever the hunter weapon was in like Goblins versus Gnomes.
Yep.
Yeah, that was what I thought of too, and that was run the whole time that was in standard. That was a centerpiece of Face Hunter at the time.
Yeah, it was like a 2-mana 2/2 weapon that buffed a minion in play is attacked by 1, right? And this is by 2. So
yeah. I do also like that we're not buffing toughness with these, because like when hand buff Death Knight was either unplayable or it was unbeatable, and there was no in between. Just because like the toughness would get so high that you just couldn't clear anything, especially because one of them was the taunt that would buff everything when you killed it. And I do like them just giving attack and not giving toughness on top of it. I think that's a better way to make this a little bit easier to tune. So I do appreciate that.
It's nice to have some of each, right?
Yeah.
That like, you can get the toughness somewhat higher from some sources perhaps, so that it's not as fragile as nerfed Zerg, nerfed Infestor. Right. But then other ones are just attack. And so you can get those extra benefits.
Yeah. But I mean, Zerg was the other one that was just like, they had to nerf that because it was just too good. And there's really no way to get around it once they got in a couple of those buffs stacked up.
Command Claw also, you can they cleared your board, right? You hero power, you play Command Claw, that's 5, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Simple, but effective.
Maybe you have an Elise. Well, we don't know if we're going to have copy. So I shouldn't even say that, but yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's Death Knight. Again, that's half of Death Knight. We'll see what the rest of it's going to look like, but it seems like a pretty cohesive package for Death Knight. That seems like it's going to work together, and it's got some interesting directions that it gets to go in. Demon Hunter. We have the Colossal for Demon Hunter is Ajara Ocean Lord, which is an 8-mana 8/8 Naga. Colossal +2. Your hero has Wind Fury. That's already very spooky in Demon Hunter. And the tentacles are 1-mana 2/1s. When summoned, give your hero +1 attack this turn. That goes up to 2 and then 4. And there's 2 of them. So that's 16 damage. Yeah. And every time that you herald, you're going to get an attack buff on top of it too. For your hero.
That is spicy. Yeah, I think front runners basically right now are Ajara and Ragnaros, again, because they're obvious. They kill you. And we can see how powerfully they can achieve that, right? Ragnaros with the death rattles, random rag shots, Ajara with the Wind Fury, hit you for 16. And I feel like these are balanced in a way that they're like, well, sometimes you won't have it fully upgraded and it'll only be 8. But yeah, it's it's pretty spooky. And if you have if you have a weapon equipped, right, to take advantage of Wind Fury.
Yeah. It's also nice to see Ajara be a colossal herself, because last time that we saw her, she was just summoning colossals all the time.
Mm-hmm.
For one. So it's good to get her doing her own thing now. But I think this is an effect that, like, it doesn't take a whole lot of imagination to see how Demon Hunter's going to want to take advantage of it. It helps when you have a spell like Fel Infusion, which we kind of referenced earlier, which is a 2-mana epic Fel spell. Herald Ajara, your hero has lifesteal this turn. That seems fine.
Oh yeah. And some notes here from Megesa regarding Ajara. 2 things. Yes! And Chronocar exists, just saying, right? That's the one where for 3 separate turns you get +3 attack. So that puts it from 16 to 22, right?
Oh,
you can set Chronocar up. Also, she notes that on Fel Infusion, the Fel Discover pool is pretty small right now. And I think we're still going to have the Hive. Yeah, we're still going to have the Hive map or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Which discovers a Fel spell. So odds that you can discover Fel Infusion may be pretty high. Yeah. I mean, they're getting 3, at least from what we see here. So, but.
Yeah. We also have Armor Bloodletter, which is a 3-mana 3/1 Naga with Rush, Battlecry, Herald Ajara. That's fine. It's 3-mana removal effectively that gets something out of the way so you can go face with your hero effectively. So
totally respectable. Right? Like, it's going to 3-mana 3/1 Rush is not great at rate, but you're also gaining at least 1 attack and a 2/1. So, like, that's a lot of value. And if you've already heralded twice, getting 2 attack and a 4/2, like, the herald stuff is going to be spooky with just the incremental, where it's like, well, you're getting a little dude and its effect and whatever you just played.
Yeah. So we also have, we do have 2 more Fel spells. So we have Flash Flood, which is a 5-mana Fel spell. Deal 5 damage to your opponent's left and right minions. Outcast, do it again.
And Illidari studies.
Yeah. And I believe it's going to wait for deaths to resolve in between.
Yeah.
So if they have either 2 big chonkers or
one big chonker, right?
Right.
If it's,
because it's going to hit it twice, right? If it's just one big dude, then it's going to hit it.
Yeah.
It's going to hit it twice.
This does 20 damage to a single thing if it's all they have.
Back in my day, you had to play Meteor to get that kind of damage. But yeah, so that's pretty good. Again, in a different kind of Demon Hunter, probably a little bit slower of a Demon Hunter, but still a valid. And again, Illidari Studies is a card, and sometimes you just do need removal, and you look for that off of Illidari Studies. Sigil of the Seas is a 1-mana Fel spell that says at the start of your next turn, summon a 3/3 Naga with Taunt.
That's insane.
It's fine. Yeah. I mean, it's
like
it's above rate. It's just, you just have to be patient.
Not even that patient, right? Like, this is a 1-mana 3/3. The taunt is quite important, I will say, right? Because we've had the dormant that Demon Hunter can most efficiently play, where it's a 1-mana 3/3 that's dormant, and then you hero power and it wakes up, right? That has no keywords. Just hasn't really seen play because you have to wait until turn 3 to attack with it. Yeah. I think people are maybe thinking of this in a similar vein, but the fact that it has taunt means that you can play this on 1 and then throw down a high impact 2-drop or coin out a high impact 3-drop, and it's now protected by a 3/3 taunt. That's a little spooky. So
yeah, I mean, there's also like the I'm forgetting the term because I just play them and I don't pay attention to what they're called. The Dread Seeds, right? From Into the Emerald Dream. So like, this is like, you got the 1-cost Dread Seed, but it had taunt. You would be excited about that every time, right? Like, the 3/3 elusive off the Dread Seed is kind of the low roll because it doesn't do anything. If it's got taunt, then they have to deal with it. So would you run a card just for that with no other effect? That's the question, right? Because the Dreadseed, you're getting something else. You're getting a card draw. You're getting 2 of them. You're getting 2 damage AOE, right? This is just a guy, not just a guy, but but maybe that's good enough, and maybe that also does protect your other minions in an aggro type of deck, which is like we used to run Tark Reaper in aggro decks to protect the rest of the board.
It's Naga, which is not like a minion type that we have a bunch of currently. So I believe in Ungoro, Contiguity is mentioned. There was a Storyteller, the 2-mana 1/2 that buffs a minion of each type on your field. So that would then make this into a 4/4 and 4/4 taunt that protects the Storyteller on 2, so that you can then follow up with more minions of different types to keep buffing. Could be a nice little snowball. So, and it's a minion for no minion DH if that is a thing.
That's fair too. That is also fair. So then the other card that we got is Dread Leviathan, which is a 9-mana 9/6. It will not stay 9/6. It starts at 9/6. With taunt. Battle Cry, choose an enemy minion to steal 3 health from 3 times.
And it can be different things. That was a note they made on the stream. You get 3 choices. It can be the same thing multiple times. It can be different things. So that definitely makes it better. I don't know if we are existing in a world where you can do that on 9, but like the effect is potentially strong. And I think since it steals the health, that ignores divine shields, which might be relevant.
It's like the leeches.
If you're able to get the full value, which I think a lot of the times you probably won't, or you'd have to engineer it because it has to be increments of 3. But
turn 9, you're more likely to.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a math thing, right? Like if they just don't have multiples of 3 that work out properly, sometimes you're going to get like 3-1-3 or like 3-2-2 or something. But if you do get the full value, it's a 9/15 taunt after doing that steal. At worst, it's a 9/9 taunt if you use it to kill 1/1s. Yeah, I don't know what kind of deck this goes into.
It's not a demon, which is kind of the biggest problem with it, I think. Because I think if it was a demon, we'd be a lot more excited about it.
It would show up all the time. Yeah, it feels intentionally not a demon because this would be very good off of the no minions thing or any number of other.
Even just like Raging Fellscreamer would make this really good, right? And so you're paying full price for this probably, unless there's probably some things that discover beasts in other classes too, that or give you random beasts. Like I think like Jewel Macaw or whatever, is that still in Hunter? I don't remember if it's staying in core or not, but that's a thing that not that Hunter typically wants 9 drops either, but
it just feels like an odd choice for it to be a beast, right? Because it's not like it could potentially be just what a big demon hunter would need, but instead it's a beast. So
this is probably a fantastic arena card.
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, one thing I want to note with the reveal streams is they kind of intentionally seem to have put arena streamers in the groups, right? To have that diversity of opinions. And so I like that, like Dose of Coffee was in the first one, is an arena streamer. And they were just like, this is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if we're ever putting this in a constructed deck, but I would pick that all day and twice on Sunday in an arena deck for sure. Oh, we have to talk about Rogue, don't we? Oh boy. Okay.
Let's see. Are there any neutrals that we care a ton about?
I think we're gonna leave the neutrals for the end just for time, right? So
I guess just like there's more dragons because this is a dragon set.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's Skybomb Saboteur, which is kind of interesting, or Sticky Bomb Saboteur, 4 mana 4/4 Battlecry, give your opponent a 2-cost sabotage. Cards next to it cost 1 more. So they just get a card in their hand that I guess it just it does put it at the end, so it's like whatever they draw next and then whatever they drew last are going to be there, and then they can either just pay for it, or they can leave it there, or they can pay 2 mana to get rid of it, in which case they're still paying the tax one way or the other. It's just a matter of if they pay the 2 mana all at once or they pay it in increments. But
yeah, and there's a new egg that, as long as it hasn't been cracked, what it summons gets +1/+1 each turn. So, that's kind of interesting for an
Twilight egg, yeah.
1 mana 0/2. And then Grand Giant, 9 mana 8/8. This minion's cost is reduced by the cost of the last card you played. So once you get into those later turns, you can, no matter what. It's interesting because you can't cheese it out early unless you have mana refreshes. No, even then you can't cheese it out early because it's just
even then you don't. It's not going to matter.
Yeah, it's the last card you played, right? So the best this will ever be is you play a 9-cost card and also this.
Yeah. Which, fine. I mean, they need ways to discount the giants. There's a 4 mana 6/6 Scaled Lancer. All enemy minions have taunt. I don't know that we want to play a 4 mana 6/6 that badly, but sure.
I mean,
there might be a reason to give everything taunt, but
yeah, it means that things cannot be hidden behind taunt. It also means that if you're playing against something that like you don't expect them to play minions, right? Then it's just overstated.
Or just play this in a deck that runs Kane,
Yeah, or something that where it's like you're the kind of deck where you would have to be destroying their minions anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. There's interesting stuff, and yeah, more dragon density.
Darkscale Brewbond, there's a 3 mana 4/3 dragon that refreshes 2 mana crystals if you're holding a dragon. That probably just goes in every dragon deck. So why not? It's a 1 mana dragon that you get to play. Like that's easy. So yeah, there's some stuff there. We're not going to spend a ton of time on the neutrals, but they're there. That was nice to keep us from having to talk about Rogue for another 2 minutes. That's good. Because Rogue. All right. So Megasa may have caught me in the supermarket today while I was shopping and messaged in our group chat. Here's the Rogue Colossal, and I may have used some 4-letter words. So Sinestra is a 6 mana 5/5 dragon with Colossal +2, and the text on it says your spells from other classes cast twice. Yep. It sure does. And then Sinestra's Wing is a 1 mana 1/1 dragon. When summoned, get a random spell from another class. It costs 1 less herald to upgrade, which goes to 2 and then 4. And
the cost reduction goes to 2 and then 4 as well.
What I meant.
Yeah. Right. In addition to the stats of
and they cast
the 1/1.
So they might be free. And you might get to play them on the same turn that you drop Sinestra. Probably not on 6, but later on you could. And you've probably just built up a whole bunch of stuff that you're ready to let loose the turn that you play Sinestra, because every time you Herald, this is going to happen also. And you're just going to build up a bunch of junk in your hand, and then you're going to drop Sinestra, and you're going to play it all twice. And hope that that's enough to win, I guess. But
I mean, I think it will.
Yeah.
We'll have to see, right? And you can low roll. But this strikes me as the intersection of competitive and Generation Rogue, which is never a good time for us, but people do enjoy it. And yeah, it scares me because the Herald cards are also good. There's Maniacal Follower, a 3 mana 3/1 Stealth, Death Rattle, Herald Sinestra. And
that at least is going to take a turn, because if it's stealth, they're not killing it right away.
Sure. But then there's also 2 mana Shadow Spell, Rite of Twilight, Herald Sinestra, combo, deal 3 damage. You can play that with not the Draenei, because that'll be going, but Foxy Fraud is sticking around, I believe. So
or you just prep it out.
Yeah, exactly. And so I mean, look, those are not like insane, but they're solid enough. On top of the other Herald stuff, and getting Deathwing, right? And because you're getting spells from other classes, you might be able to pick up Fel Infusion, for example, to get, a Herald card from Demon Hunter, or Experimental Animation from Death Knight, right? Those are spells from other classes that you could get that
You could
also say
also be
Herald.
running Imbue and get some of the Herald minions from other classes.
Yeah, let's not do that, please. But
I mean, if you're gonna go for it, you may as well just go all in, right? Like just let Yogg take the wheel and just go full random BS go if you're gonna do that. And I mean, this is again why I just wish that there was like an actual casual format in this game and you didn't have to take these cards on ranked ladder, because like this would be fine in like a casual format, right? Like I as much as I crap on Burgle Rogue, like I have a theft deck in Commander. Like I do that. I'm not opposed to it, but that's also like a casual format where I'm not worried about a rank, right? Like I wouldn't ever take that to like an actual like 1v1 tournament or anything like that. I'm just, messing around with I want to play my friends' cards too. But that's different than being in a competitive format. That's my issue with it. Again, just to be clear, like I'm not anti-fun. I just feel like there's a place for random nonsense go, and it in competitive maybe I'm old-fashioned. I feel like you should have an actual win con that your deck starts with, but
yeah, look, and maybe it'll be just under competitive, right? Because it's random, but it'll still suck because people are gonna love it and play with it, and sometimes they're gonna high roll those spells, right? They're gonna high roll the amount of production, so they get to play them for free. It is not reliable in the way that Ragnaros or Ajara are, but I think the fact that you can get Herald spells from other classes. If you're doing Imbue, you can get Herald minions from other classes. You still get to run the neutrals. You still get to run Deathwing, right? So if you're hitting that 4 a lot and you get to Ultraxion for a 6-mana Deathwing, right? And now you've got a hero power that deals 5 and you just cleared the board, right? Like, I feel like it might be a situation where you die to the other Deathwing classes, or at least Warrior and Demon Hunter, but then like still do quite well against everything else.
Yeah. And like it's okay for this to be a 40% deck because people will play it if it's it pretty much needs to not be like a 30% deck, but if it's a 40 to 45% deck, people will play it. And that's fine. And if those things kind of stay at a rank floor and don't progress further, then that's just you are annoyed by it. If you're the kind of person who gets annoyed by those types of things and then you move past them and you don't see them anymore, it's when you're seeing them all the way up ladder that it's a little bit more frustrating. But
yeah, I was disappointed to see that this is their colossal and their full mechanic, but look, at least it's not getting shadow stepped, right?
No, it's just getting Web of Deception, but that's okay. But that's still 8 mana. Whatever. I mean, you're probably waiting till later to play this anyway because you want to get your heralds going when you do that. But they also did get a shadow spell, a 3-mana shadow spell, Stolen Power. Get a random shatter card from another class. It's already combined. This is whenever we have a set mechanic that Rogue, even if it does have access to it, like this is like get a random Excavate card, get a random Forge card, like whatever. This is just
Starship
par
piece
for the course. Yeah, Starship piece. This is par for the course. It's fine.
This one doesn't cost 1 though, because that would be nuts.
Yeah, thankfully.
I'm not sure on this one. The shatter cards, like getting it already combined is nuts, and the fact that you can curve this, like a lot of them cost 4, and so you can curve this into, I think it's possible it might just be good because you play this on 3 and then high impact turn 4 play. But the fact that it's random is a big drawback.
And it's 3 mana to start with.
Right.
So it's a real cost to do that. Like, if 1
So,
mana, you can kind of just, like, you can fit that into a turn. 3 mana is, like, actual money that you're spending on this.
Yeah. To then be able to do your supply run, right? Which would be another turn off for a lot of big stuff. Or flight maneuvers, right? Where, that would be better. You get a pair of 5/3 Drakes with Divine Shield.
And it's not
But-
discounted, which the cards from these types of effects usually are discounted by 1, or in this case, it's discounted by the cost of the card, typically.
I mean-
so it's not discounted. You're actually spending 3 mana to do it. Get it random. You're not even discovering, and then 3 mana to, or whatever it is. I don't know if they're all 3 mana, but let's just say 3 mana, because the ones we've seen have been 3 mana to play it. Like, that's committed. That you're really committed to the bit at that point. Which, I mean, good on you, but I don't know. You'll get this generated sometimes, I'm sure.
So the ones that we've seen have been 4 mana
4
to
mana.
play.
Right.
Yeah.
Even worse.
But
yeah.
the fact that you're getting it combined is a big deal, right?
I mean,
That
it's better than the shatter cards you're going to put in your deck because you want to get it combined. You don't have to do any work to do it. But
right.
you're paying. Would you rather pay 3 mana or just wait a bit? I don't know. I don't know what the
depends,
answer is to
right.
that.
Yeah. And we'll have to see what some of the other ones are.
Yeah.
But,
So
yeah. Oh, there's
yeah, there's more.
There's more.
Because they just 4Gamer just I don't read Japanese. I think this is Japanese. I don't read Japanese. I could get my daughter down here. She's studying Japanese in college. Get her to translate for us. But I think we have the cards, and that's probably enough. So we got the other Rogue Legendary. This is gonna make a lot of people very upset, I
Indeed.
think. Izarath is a 5 mana 5/3. Battle Cry. Devour 2 random cards from the opponent's hand, then go dormant for 2 turns. Death Rattle, return them.
That's just like, I don't even know if that's good. It's infuriating, right? Because if you hit anything they care about, it's no matter what, gone for 2 turns.
And you can't
And
interact with
then-
it at all. Yeah.
Right. Can't interact with it at all. It's just dormant. And then when it comes back, they have an opportunity to Web of Deception it before you can do anything.
And then they're gone forever.
They're gone forever. Yeah. And then they can play it again. This is another, like, well, at least Shadow Steph's gone.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Shadow Step definitely
even
died
more.
for this. Yeah, Shadow Step definitely
Yeah.
died for this. But, wow.
Yeah. And if if we get a more aggressive rogue that is like putting on pressure, which means they're forcing the opponent to spend cards. I guess I don't know how good this is in aggressive because it going dormant means you don't get to pressure with it. But if you're making them spend cards and then you're like, yeah, I'm going to take 2 of them away. Oh, it was your board clear? Too bad.
Yeah. I mean, that is 5 mana effectively do nothing, right? Like, you have to be, because you're not developing your board. You're spending 5 mana to not develop the board. You are denying them resources, to be fair.
Yeah.
You are. So it's not really do nothing, but it's like a 5 mana Thoughtseize. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's to use Magic terminology, because like we don't have a lot of these types of effects in Hearthstone, and when we do, people generally complain about them a lot. Hand denial in Magic is a lot more common, but it's not. It's kind of an aggro tool. Like, you're attacking their hands, and generally, like, it's like 1 mana, 2 mana. Like, Duress is what, 1 mana, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like it's generally seen in like more aggressive to mid-range decks, and this is 5 mana. Destroy, get rid of 2 cards for 2 turns, but also you've got a dormant minion that's not doing anything to develop your board in the exchange.
But it's a rare effect for Hearthstone, right? So we'll see how it shakes out, but it's gonna make some people real mad, and even more so if it ever gets generated. Now, fortunately, it hasn't got a minion type, because things with minion types get generated much more easily. But
but also Rogue also still has the weapon that draws a legendary minion. So
Kingsbane.
This is gonna get tutored fairly often.
Yeah, I don't know. Kingsbane might be actively bad.
It might be
this meta, because everyone's going to have a Colossal, and you'll be drawing Ultraxian, Deathwing, Colossal for the other Deathwing classes. So I feel like Kingsbane's downside is going to be just like way too high.
I mean, we're drawing everyone their Elise and their Ziliax now, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, potentially. We'll have to see. But
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. We still have Waggle Pick too. I forgot
Oh,
about
I
that.
forgot we had Waggle Pick is.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
oh dear.
gross.
That's look. Yeah, Waggle Pick works better for this than it does with Sinestra, because Sinestra you could hit the appendages,
Right.
which would not be good. Oh, it wouldn't be awful because you, I think, would still get to replay them, and while you've got the doubling effect in. But yeah, Waggle Pick. Honestly, Rogue might be running Waggle Pick. I think that's why their 3-cost Herald is a death rattle, right? So that you can't even Waggle Pick or Web of Deception it. But you can Waggle Pick into Envoy of the End, right? Or into Ultraxian. So, there's stuff. Man, I forgot about Waggle Pick.
Yeah, I now I'm upset. Anyway, Serenity now. We're the good thing is we're done talking about Rogue, so I can't get more upset. So that's good.
Yeah. Just real quick notes because I haven't been keeping up with stuff. Miguel said of the neutrals, 1 mana 4/3, let's go, regarding the one that refreshes 2 crystals, right? That 3-cost dragon. And then Earthen Drake, probably too expensive for this realistically. It'd have to stick, but Shaman still has elemental damage package from Ungoro with Bralna, who would double this because it's an elemental dragon. That is the 5 mana 4/4 elemental dragon. At the end of your turn, deal 4 damage to the enemy hero.
Yeah. Let's put a pin in that for when we talk about the Druid cards, because that's also going to be something that's going to be relevant. I mean, I guess that kind of leads us into Druid, because Druid, we got 4 cards. Well, 3 more cards. We already had Wickerfang. So the Dragonflight for Druid is Marithra of the Dream, which is an 8 mana 4/12 dragon. Battle Cry, fill your hand with random dragons. If you spent 25 mana while holding this, they cost 1. So this is a pretty cool design space that we were talking in the Discord today. I think it was Dawn who said, I'm surprised that they've had Druid for 12 years and this is the first time that we're printing something like this. Because it seems like just natural, no pun intended, for Druid to have this spending mana while you're holding it mechanic. And we haven't seen it before, but it is very cool. And it's a very interesting design space that we're filling here. We were talking about this before the show. This either is going to be really good or completely unplayable. And it's really hard to see which, because if you draw this at the end of the game, you're going to be very sad.
Yeah.
But if you have this in your opening hand, you might be slamming this on 8 or 10 probably, so you can play a couple of the dragons with it. And random dragons, there are some stinkers, but they're all worth more than 1 mana, I'll tell you that much. Except, I mean, I think the 1 mana ones are rotating. So
there's a new one coming in, but there's not many.
Yeah.
I think it'll basically depend on consistency of drawing it quickly and then getting that going. There's another dragon that works this way. Yeah, it's a set here of 3 cards that do the same kind of thing. 4 mana 4/5 dragon, Broodwatcher, Battlecry, get 2 3/3 whelps with taunt. If you spent 8 mana while holding this, summon them, right? So they go to your hand like the bear card, which is terrible. But if you spend 8 mana, you summon them for 4 mana. 4 mana for a 4/5, and then 2 3/3 taunts. This is pretty good. And then Fellwood Treant, 2 mana 2/2, Battlecry, gain a temporary mana crystal. If you spent 4 mana while holding this, it's permanent. And so that's their ramp, which that's much worse ramp than they've previously gotten. So I'm satisfied.
Yeah. It's interesting because you can't ramp with this on 2, not permanently.
Right.
You at best can ramp with this on 3 is the best case scenario. If you have
on coin. Yeah.
Yeah. If you have coin hero power into hero power at worst, right?
Or 2 drops. But
I mean, you could have a 2 drop, but you can always do it with the hero power, right? But you would have to spend the coin early to do that in order to be able to play a 2/2 on 3 and ramp you, which again is better than New Heights doesn't give you anything when you when you play it. So it's
Mhm.
still okay to get a 2/2. But if you draw this later, you have to power it up in order to be able to get a permanent mana crystal out of it. It probably is. I don't know if it's better or worse later, because you'd rather not draw it at all later, but at least it's only going to be 1 mana effectively if you're playing it later when you've already got at max mana.
I mean, it's almost like less bad later than you would expect, just because it can't be as good early, right?
Yeah.
Like, so if you draw it in the mid game, you're sort of like, oh, that's fine, because I can just spend the 4 mana this turn, and the next turn I'll get my ramp, right? And it just costs you 1 because it gives you that 1 back. Yeah. Like I said, I'm happy to see them. I think they needed a ramp card. I'm glad it looks like it is playable but not busted, and these other things we'll have to see how consistently you can get them. Does it mean that you keep an 8-drop, right? Is that what it means? Just so you can try and turbo it? I don't know, but watch, we'll see the percent win rate card on this, and it'll be something stupid.
Yeah, it's going to be something dumb. I mean, even just like playing cards on curve into that, right?
Yeah,
because you don't have to spend 8 mana all at once. You can just do it in increments.
Right. But we still have Curator, which can target a dragon, right? To draw it. Yeah. I think Talon might not be in core. I forget. I'm not sure.
Talon? No, Talon I think is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, still potential way, not the best ways, but potential ways of targeting, drawing Marithra to get it at least guaranteed, if not sort of as early as you might want.
Isn't there the 5 mana 5/5 that draws 2 dragons? Isn't that neutral? Death Rattle draws 2 dragons?
It's a Death Rattle, but yes.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see.
Like, I like the, again, it's hard without knowing what the rest of the set is, because it's just like a glimpse at the set. And we don't know what else Druid is doing. It would imply, if we're spending large quantities of mana, that we would get more ramp, but maybe we're going to try to do this without giving Druid ramp and see how it does, or good ramp.
Well, and so they are going to still have acceleration aura.
Right.
So that's a thing they can do.
That's kind of ramp, but
yeah,
it's temporary. It skips the early game, I guess, but
there's the neutral treant that gives both players a mana crystal. And there's Ysera, of course. So
yeah. I mean,
Ysera's
I mean, calling that ramp is generous.
Fair. Yeah. But I kind of hope the rest of this set's card for Druid is dedicated to more go wide.
Yeah.
For Wicker Fang, and because I think I would be okay if Druid Quest got to actually be played. Right? Since that is a go wide strategy quest. And we haven't really had a token Druid in a while.
Or like Dragon Matters type stuff, maybe. That might also be the direction that they're going. It's hard to we don't know. Like, it's hard to say, just because like this doesn't tell us what Druid's going to be doing. It tells us some things that Druid could do, but there's not really enough of this to hang your hat on.
All right. I figured out the Dragon Scale Broodmother a little bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That goes quite nicely with the
because
Druid
then
stuff.
You're spending 3 mana, but you're getting 2 of it refunded. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes, so maybe this is a Dragon Druid at the end of the day.
I think so. Yeah.
That helps you with spending and then refreshing, and maybe there's some more stuff that does that. That's interesting.
And Carrier Whelp is a 1 mana 1/2 dragon. Battlecry, get a random dragon that costs 3 or less, right?
How many of them are there, right? Yeah.
Not a ton, at least that we've seen so far, but one of them is Darkscale Broodmother, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you could get the rewind that we've had for a while, 3 mana 2/2, where you draw a minion, it gets +2/+2. That's another 3 mana dragon. You could get the infinite ones.
Yeah.
Right? The 1/4 poisonous, or the 4/1 Dimension Lifesteal, both of which you probably would be fine with. So
yeah. And it's
Yeah.
it's random, right? So you get access to the ones in other classes. You could get like Time Twisted Seer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, Gift Wrapped Whelp and Adaptive Amalgam are rotating. Petal Peddler would be real good. The 1/4 that at the end of your turn give another random friendly dragon +1/+1. That would be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it may in fact be that rather than us thinking of this as a like, oh, we're gonna be a rampy, all in on Marithra druid.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just a dragon druid, right? That plays stuff on curve, so that you're doing efficient, good things with your mana, and then it just happens that you will keep Marithra in your opening hand because the effect is good, right?
I mean, this could even be Cloud Serpent's Time to Shine at that point, right? With a 3 mana, 3/3, get a copy of another dragon around that sort in your hand.
No. I mean, maybe if you're getting more copies of Darkscale Broodmother or of Broodwatcher, but I don't even think it's like worth it to copy Marithra.
No, I'm not looking at copying Marithra. I want to copy some of the cheaper stuff to be able to get Marithra online faster.
Yeah.
I mean, you also have Portal Vanguard, right? 3 mana, 2/2, battle cry, draw a random minion, give it +2/+2. So I mean, it's not going to help you tutor, but again, it'll help you find it, especially if you're not running a ton of minions. I think in this deck you probably are, but again, we don't know what the rest of the set looks like, so who knows?
Yeah. But I'm more on board with that kind of Marithra druid than something that's just like playing a bunch of ramp spells and try not to die and then have this big Marithra finish. I don't know. I'm more excited at the prospect of like we're playing early game dragons.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. No notes from Magesa on the druid. I forgot to mention, but she also said kind of some of the same things we did on the priest and Volcanos, that like we don't have the context, so we'll see. She also wishes that the way that the reveals are being done were still class by class, right? Like I think she writes that if it could be something like first there's an initial reveal blog as normal, then maybe a big dump of neutrals on social channels with the featured creators like they did with Dark Lady
or even
Cosplay.
Do like a reveal thing with the arena streamers, right? Like
sure. Yeah. And then if doing full sets in the reveal videos is too long, then maybe you reveal some of a class of cards on social channels that day or the day before, and then do videos for the rest of those classes sets.
Yeah,
and you save like 2 to 3 classes for the final stream, rather than breaking it up where we don't get the benefit that we previously had of getting to see all the classes in context.
I mean, the benefit of doing it the other way is that you could just start theory crafting, because you had all the neutrals, and then you get the whole class, and you can theory craft from there. And we can't really do that until the very end, which is, that's kind of how you get excited, is by starting to build the decks and see how they come together. So, I mean, it's a different way of doing it. It's the first way they're doing it this way. And I do like the way that they're hyping things up, and ultimately getting people excited for that is good. But I think that, they're working out the kinks. I think I'm pretty confident they're going to find the right way to do it. But that's all the cards we have. I can't remember the last time we had a mid reveal season where we haven't finished recording yet, but we're currently under 2 hours. So
some of that is because we unfortunately are just the two of us, right?
Yes.
But at any rate, we have many folks we'd like to thank. Check out our thanks section on the website at Concede.com. We also find our contact info, our show notes, and our Patreon information. You can monetarily support our show at patreon.com/Concede. Join us every week live by following us on Twitch at twitch.concede.com. Join our community chats in our Discord at discord.concede.com. Right into our email at concede@gmail.com. Follow us on Blue Sky at Concede. Subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/@concede. And if you'd like some CC swag, head on over to our shop at coin-concede-shop.fourthwall.com, or click the link in our show notes. Coin Concedes, I think I can say for both of us, Coin Concede to Magesa. Hope you feel better soon. And wishing her well.
Lots of chicken soup, matzo ball soup, Jewish penicillin.
And then I am going to coin concede to a D&D tuber that I have been watching a bunch of recently called Mystic Arts, who has great production quality and also just had some really great tips that I'm looking forward to incorporating into my games. And yeah, lots and lots of great stuff. I think only has been around for like a couple years, which is, you know, younger than some of the other channels that I follow. So
I'm going to coin concede to Ixar because I don't know if he was the real Ixar that I was playing against as my final boss, but that doesn't seem like a particularly common name for people to be impersonating this time around, especially being at Legend about mid-month. So, but that was Ixar, if you don't know, was one of the former game directors of the game and early developer, and that was who I queued into, and it was a quite back and forth. He was on Discover Hunter, so I'm assuming I'm saying he because I'm assuming that was him, and I know he's AP. But yeah, it was quite an epic game, and it was pretty cool to see a name I recognize, even if it's not actually him. But it was cool to think that it was, even if it might have been. He was, I don't know if he's still there. He moved over to the League of Legends team. I don't know if he's still over there or not. But
I think so. Yeah, I feel like
I haven't heard anything in a while. But I don't follow League anyway. I follow TFT, but I don't really follow League. So
yeah, I can't do it anymore.
I'm too old. I'm pushing 50. I can't be. That's a young man's game. You know.
And in general, it's hard to do multiple live service games. You know.
Yeah. Especially one that is dexterity reliant, which I am not. I am slowing down in my advanced age, so yeah. But that's gonna do it for us for this week. So until next time, keep calm and don't burgle your opponent. And if you see us on ladder, coin concede.
Coin concede.
All life must end. I yield for now. I concede. Well fought. I concede.
You win this one.
The victory is yours.
You have bested me.
I give up.
You win this one, friend. You win this time. I choose death.